This is the second part of section 8.5, part 2. It's called raising a quotient to a power. When you're raising a quotient to a power, you raise both the numerator and denominator to that power. In other words, you distribute it. If you have a negative power we're raising to, we take the reciprocal to the positive power. We'll do some examples like that in just a little bit. Our first one is 3/9 to the second power. Before I even start, let's reduce that to 1/3. Because 3/9 is 1/3. Well, 1 squared over 3 squared equals 1/9. So the idea is we're going to distribute. Here's our second one. Let's distribute. 5 cubed, x cubed, y cubed over z to the 4th cubed. We'll get to what that is in a second. Do you know what 5 cubed is in your head? 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 times 25 is 125. So let's write that out. X cubed and y cubed. Now we have a power to a power. 4 times 3 is 12, and so our answer is z to the 12th on the bottom. Our next one, I've changed our exponent from a 3 to a -2. This is an illustration of a negative exponent in a fraction. The easiest way to deal with this is to take the reciprocal of the fraction to the positive exponent. Now we evaluate. 9 squared over 5 squared. Well, 9 squared is 81, 5 squared is 25, and so our answer is 81 over 25. We'll do another problem like that before we finish, and we'll come back to that idea. Here's our last one, and we say to ourselves, we have a power to a power, but we can also possibly simplify first. It's always better to simplify first. So, let's think to ourselves, where is it bigger, the 9 or the 4? Well, it's bigger on the bottom, so the variable stays in the bottom. 9 minus 4 will be our exponent in the bottom. Well, that, as you know, obviously is 5. So we're going to cube the top and the bottom. 1 cubed is 1, and x to the 5th cubed, multiply your exponents and get x to the 15th. Now let's come back to the fractions to a negative power and just review that idea just a little bit more. Let's take a look at a couple short examples. 2/3 to the -1. Very simply, take the reciprocal, and we're going to get 3 over 2 to the +1. What if we have 4/5 to the -2? Take the reciprocal, that's 5/4 to the +2, which will be 25 over 16. I hope you're getting the idea. Let's look at this one. 3/7 to the 0. Do you remember that anything to the 0 equals 1? Not really related to this thing, but it's a good review. And here's our final one. 4a over 7 raised to the -2. Well, let's flip the whole thing. 7 over 4a to the +2, which becomes 49 over 16a squared. How did I get those? I squared all 3 of them. So remember, when you're taking a negative exponent to a fraction, take the reciprocal and then flip it over and do the positive exponent.